Empress Zara of the Krillian Hive sat upon her throne of living chitin and tried very hard not to scream. Before her stood Ambassador Vex of the Xylosian Empire, a being made of pure energy who changed colors with every emotion. Currently, he was a very angry shade of pulsing red. "You are not listening," Vex thrummed, his voice vibrating through the throne room. The trade agreement clearly states that Krillian mining rights extend only to the third moon of Cyclax. Your harvesters have moved to the fourth moon. This is a violation. Zara's mandibles clicked with frustration. We moved to the fourth moon because the third moon is depleted. The agreement says we have rights to the Cyclax system. The fourth moon is in the Cyclax system. Simple. The agreement specifically lists the moons. Third moon only. Third moon. How many times must I repeat this? Around them, the court watched in uncomfortable silence. The Krillian Hive and the Xylosian Empire had been negotiating this trade deal for 6 months. 6 months of meetings, translations, misunderstandings, and near wars. The current disagreement had brought them to the brink of actual conflict. Zara's chief advisor, an ancient Krillian named Kor, leaned close to her ear. "My queen, perhaps we need outside assistance. Someone neutral. Someone who can interpret." "We have interpreters," Zara hissed back. 20 of them. They're the ones who created this mess. Different interpreters. Not diplomatic ones. Someone who understands how other species think. Someone from outside both our cultures. Zara considered this. The Krillian Hive was isolationist by nature. They rarely interacted with other species except through conquest or trade. But the Xylosian situation was becoming impossible. "Find me someone," she ordered. "Anyone. Just fix this." 3 weeks later, a small transport ship landed in the Krillian capital. From it stepped a human female. Middle-aged, brown skin, gray streaking her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. She wore simple clothes, comfortable pants, a worn jacket, scuffed boots. She carried nothing but a small bag and a tablet computer. Zara watched her approach from the observation platform. This is the best they could find? A human? They live 40 years and spend most of them asleep. Course shifted uncomfortably. Her name is Dr. Sarah Chen. She's a xenolinguist. Specializes in cross-species communication breakdowns. She's worked with 17 different species. Her reputation is unusual. Unusual how? Other species request her specifically. They say she understands them. Somehow. Zara clicked her mandibles skeptically. "Bring her in. Let's see what this human can do." Part 2. The Translator. Sarah Chen walked into the Krillian throne room with the casual confidence of someone entering a familiar coffee shop. She looked around at the living walls, the chitinous throne, the 100 armored warriors lining the path, and nodded appreciatively. Nice setup. Very organic. Must be a nightmare to clean. Zara stared at her. No one spoke to the queen of the Krillian Hive like that. No one. "You are the translator?" Zara's voice was cold. "I am." Sarah stopped before the throne and smiled. It was a warm smile, genuine and unafraid. "Dr. Sarah Chen. Pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. You're even more impressive in person. The report said you were 8 feet tall. You've got to be at least 9. Zara found herself momentarily speechless. You are not afraid of me?" Sarah considered this. "Should I be? I mean, you could probably kill me without breaking a sweat. But you invited me here to help. That suggests you want me alive. So no, not really afraid." She glanced around. Intimidated? A little. This is very dramatic. But afraid? No. Kor stepped forward. "Dr. Chen, We have a serious diplomatic situation. The Xylosian ambassador is arriving in 1 hour for another meeting. We need you to observe and advise. The Xylosians, energy beings, change colors with emotion. Sarah nodded. I've worked with them before. Fascinating species. Very literal. They don't do subtext at all. Subtext? Zara asked, meaning beneath the words, implying things. Sarcasm. They don't get it. If you say something, they take it exactly as said. No interpretation. Zara and Kor exchanged glances. This was already more insight than they'd gotten from 6 months of professional diplomats. The meeting was held in the neutral observation chamber, a circular room with views of space on all sides. Ambassador Vex arrived in a swirl of golden light, his form shifting and pulsing. He was currently a calm blue, but Zara knew that could change instantly. The Krillian hive continues to occupy the fourth moon, Vex stated without preamble. This is unacceptable. Withdrawal must happen immediately. Zara opened her mouth to respond, but Sarah touched her arm gently. Let me try something first. Sarah stepped forward and addressed Vex directly. Ambassador, when you say the fourth moon is unacceptable, what exactly do you mean by unacceptable? Vex pulsed confusion, a brief flash of purple. I mean it is not acceptable. It violates the agreement that says third moon only? Correct. Sarah nodded slowly. And when you say third moon only, do you mean that the Krillians cannot harvest the fourth moon under any circumstances? Or do you mean that the original agreement only addressed the third moon because that's all that was relevant at the time? Vex flickered. The agreement says third moon only. Those are the words. Yes, but words have context. When the agreement was written, the fourth moon hadn't been surveyed yet. No one knew what was there. The agreement couldn't address something that didn't exist in their knowledge. Vex pulsed thoughtfully, a slow, contemplative green. This is a different interpretation. It's not interpretation. It's context. The Krillians aren't trying to violate the agreement. They're trying to apply it to a situation that didn't exist when the agreement was written. That's not bad faith. That's reality changing. Zara watched in amazement as Vex's color shifted through several shades of consideration. In 6 months of meetings, she had never seen the Xylosian ambassador actually think about something. He always just repeated the same phrases over and over. Context, Vex repeated slowly. This is a concept we struggle with. Our language does not have words for things that are not explicitly stated. I know, Sarah said gently. I've studied your language. It's beautiful in its precision. But precision has limitations. Sometimes what isn't said matters as much as what is said. Vex pulsed a color Zara had never seen before, a soft, warm orange. You understand us. I try to understand everyone. That's my job. Part 3. The Revelation. The meeting continued for 3 more hours, but something had fundamentally shifted. With Sarah translating, not the words, but the meanings behind them, Zara and Vex actually communicated for the first time. They discovered that the Xylosians hadn't even noticed the fourth moon had resources. They only cared about the agreement because agreements were sacred to them, not because of the resources but because of the principle. The Krillians, meanwhile, hadn't understood that the Xylosians viewed the written word as inviolable law. To them, moving to the fourth moon wasn't violation, it was practical adaptation. By the end of the meeting, they had drafted a new agreement. The Krillians would share a percentage of the fourth moon's resources with the Xylosians. The Xylosians would add a future considerations clause to all subsequent agreements. Everyone left satisfied. After Vex departed, Zara turned to Sarah with something approaching wonder. How did you do that? 6 months of negotiations, and you solved it in 3 hours. Sarah shrugged. I just ask questions. Most conflicts aren't about what people say. They're about what people mean. And most people don't even know what they mean until someone asks the right questions. Zara studied the human woman carefully. She was so small, so fragile, so temporary. And yet she had done what armies of diplomats could not. Stay, Zara said impulsively. Not as a prisoner, as an advisor. I need someone who understands context. Sarah smiled. I have a life on Earth, a family, a cat. Bring them, all of them. I will give you anything. Resources, protection, a place in my court. Zara leaned forward. You see things, Dr. Chen. You see what's beneath the surface. That is rare. That is precious. I need that. Sarah considered for a long moment. Let me think about it. But I'll stay for a while. Help with the transition. There are going to be more misunderstandings as this new agreement gets implemented. Zara nodded. Good. That is good. Part 4. The Queen's Education. Over the following months, Sarah became a permanent fixture in the Krillian court. She didn't just translate between species, she translated between everyone. She helped Krillian generals understand Xylosian tactics. She helped Xylosian traders understand Krillian customs. She helped both sides understand themselves. But her most important work was with Zara. The queen of the Krillian hive had ruled for 200 years through fear and force. It was the Krillian way. But Sarah gently suggested alternatives. When you tell a subordinate they've failed, they hear, you are worthless. That's not what you mean, but that's what they hear. Try explaining what went wrong and how to fix it. They'll learn instead of just fearing. When you negotiate with other species, they don't see your strength as reassuring. They see it as threatening. Try showing a little vulnerability. Let them see you as a person, not just a queen. Zara resisted at first. Vulnerability was weakness. Everyone knew that. But she watched Sarah interact with guards, servants, diplomats from a dozen worlds. Sarah treated everyone the same, with curiosity, respect, and genuine interest. And everyone responded to her, not with fear, but with loyalty. Slowly, hesitantly, Zara began to try. She asked a guard about his family. She listened to a servant's concerns about her work. She admitted to a Xylosian trader that she didn't understand their pricing system and asked for explanation rather than demanding compliance. The changes were subtle at first, then undeniable. The court became calmer, more efficient, more human in a way. One evening, Zara found Sarah on the observation deck, watching the stars. You've changed everything, Zara said quietly. Without conquering, without fighting, without even asking. You just talk to people. Sarah smiled. That's all I've ever done. Listen, ask questions, care about the answers.
Why?
Why do you care about strangers? About other species? We're not even from your world. Sarah was quiet for a moment. Because everyone has a story. Everyone has something they're afraid of, something they hope for, something they love. When you see that, really see it, you can't hate them. You can't dismiss them. You can only try to understand. Zara looked at the small human beside her. 60 years old, by her own account. Maybe 20 left if she was lucky. Such a brief spark in the darkness. And yet that spark had illuminated more than Zara's 2 centuries of power ever had. You are the most dangerous being I have ever met, Zara said softly. Not because you can fight, because you can see. Sarah laughed, a warm, genuine sound. I'm not dangerous. I'm just curious. That's what makes you dangerous. Part 5. The end of the story. Sarah Chen lived among the Krillian hive for another 15 years. She never officially accepted Zara's offer to stay permanently. She always maintained that she was just visiting, but she never left either. Her family visited. Her cat adapted surprisingly well to alien life. And she became, unofficially, the most important being in the Krillian court. When she died, at the age of 75, the entire Krillian hive mourned. Xylosian ambassadors came to pay respects. Representatives from 17 species attended her memorial. They spoke of her kindness, her curiosity, her ability to see what others missed. But it was Zara who spoke last. She came to us as a translator. The queen said, her voice thick with grief. But she taught us that translation isn't about words. It's about meaning. It's about seeing. She saw us, all of us, Krillian and Xylosian and everyone else, and she helped us see each other. She paused, looking at the simple memorial they had built, a small garden filled with plants from Earth, tended by Krillian hands. She explained us to ourselves. And in doing so, she changed everything. On the memorial stone, they carved words in Krillian, Xylosian, and human script. Dr. Sarah Chen. She came to translate words. She stayed to translate hearts. She saw us all, and in seeing, she healed. And if you visit the Krillian hive today, you will find a society transformed, not through conquest or fear, but through questions and curiosity. The Krillian queen still rules, but she rules with wisdom now, not just power. And when conflicts arise, as they always do, someone will ask, what would Sarah do? She would listen. She would ask questions. She would care about the answers. Because the most dangerous creature in any galaxy is not the one with the sharpest claws or the loudest roar. It's the one who looks at a stranger and sees a story worth hearing. And then, with a wink and a smile, helps them hear each other. The end.